home of the world-famous Space Needle, Pike Place Market, and of course, the Kingdom. Because where else could you have a Monster Jam? Welcome to TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam. Now, if you missed last week, I gotta say, sorry. You missed some incredible racing, some smashing, some banging, some jamming, and you also missed some winners. But to talk more about them, let's go upstairs to the Hogger and Mr. Douglas. Now, guys, how about Todd Frolic last week?
Dan, you're right. Todd Frolic was something in Houston. But here we are in Seattle, the Kingdom. What a crowd we've got here to watch monster truck action. It's going to be an exciting night. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Hogwood along with Scott Douglas. It's got a little different format than we had down in Houston.
Still should play right into Barefoot's wheelhouse. This is a straight line, pure horsepower course. The question, though, it's a brand new driver. A rookie for the Barefoot team, Mike Dropic, is behind the wheel this week.
One of the fun things we're going to do in Monster Jam is keep track of the standings. You see Barefoot right there on top.
On top and with a big lead because you get bonus points for the win. Now, as we look at the second five, look at Carolina Crusher, Sampson, some big names in that second five.
And we'll see who comes out on top tonight. Well, let's go back down to Dan Moriarty now. Hey, Dan, what else we got coming up tonight on Monster Jam?
Tonight we've got Pro Stadium, Monsters, and something crazy called rollovers. So stay right there. We're coming at you right after this.
Welcome back to Seattle, the Kingdom. Mike Hogwood along with Scott Douglas. What a crowd we have here tonight. And again, Scott will remind our fans that we're going to run in a straight line tonight. Horsepower, the key tonight.
And that means you're going to keep your eyes on Barefoot. You're going to keep your eyes on Sampson with that 572 Hemi. He is a guy who can really go on this course. Also, you want to watch as the night goes on Monster Patrol. But we're getting a new one here in Jurassic Attack.
Kevin Wink is out of Alberta, Canada, and we'll see what he can do. I love the way Sampson looks. There is Jurassic Attack. It's not a bad-looking machine either.
Oh, that's one the kids got to love. Let's see if he can run, though. That's the question. He's going up against the powerful Sampson.
Definitely the underdog in this first match here. And again, going in a straight line, lot of horsepower, and wow! Look at Sampson go.
It was a no-brainer once he got to that second jump because, again, that 572 Keith Black Hemi is just makes so much horsepower, and when he gets to the jump, you can just see him explode. Watch. Wow. Like Michael Jordan hang time.
That is something. So, Sampson advances with Dan Patrick. Now we go to Maniac. Don Frankish will go up against Monster Patrol. Rod Schmidt. I would say Monster Patrol probably the favorite in this run.
Interesting contrast in drivers here. You've got the Canadian in Maniac, and our first look at him. Rod Schmidt, a new driver for Team Monster Patrol, but we know he's got great equipment. Let's see what he can do with it.
Schmidt is out of Indiana.
Oh, he almost went over. Did you see the way the front end nose dove on him? He still eked out the win, but that was closer than I thought it would be.
It was a lot closer than I think Rod thought it was going to be, too. I'm sure his heart started beating fast as you look at it again. Maniac does a great job, but it is Monster Patrol barely. And I mean barely.
Rarely see one nosedive like that. Well, here's the man, Dennis Anderson, and the Gravedigger to take on Marvin Anderson and the Wild Thing. Marvin
Anderson, another Canadian, and Digger is gonna get it. Something happened to Wild Thing.
That's what I love about Gravedigger. Wild Thing didn't even get off the line. It doesn't matter to Dennis Anderson. He knows only one speed, and that's all out.
And you look at the fans here in Seattle tonight for Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And that is our jump cam.
That's what you call bringing Gravedigger into your living room.
Well, I don't think we got a guy manning that camera tonight. If he is, he gets extra hazard pay, I'm telling you.
The original Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger, yet another victory.
And you have to think that here in Seattle, Gravedigger is going to be awfully tough to beat in this monster truck event.
He really is on a straight line course because there's no reason to worry about slowing down and setting up a turn. That's what Dennis Anderson loves. He can just hammer that throttle. He'll do it all night.
Well, he hammered it. Coming up, we got more monster truck action on Monster Jam. Monster Jam welcomes you back to Seattle. Hi, guys. Yeah, we're all having a great time here in the Kingdome tonight. And we've got a local favorite who I'm sure all those folks are going to be cheering on coming up. It's going to be battling against Survivor. Now, Survivor is out of Oregon, but he's running against Captain America. Yeah, from Yakima, Washington, Jeff Boehner taking on Chuck Jordan in Survivor. So a couple of Northwestern trucks. This may be for the Northwestern bragging rights right here in the first round. And you can hear a little extra noise from this crowd. Wow, great jump by Captain America. Impressive run by Captain America. Certainly Survivor, the more veteran of these two trucks, the more experienced, the one a lot of us are used to seeing up and down the road. But I'll tell you, Captain America, a good-looking truck, and he came ready to race. All right. Nearby guy out of Washington, and you see again, horsepower the key. Good start is a key. Yeah, you cannot lose. You cannot give up a whole shot like Survivor gave up right there, and he knows it, and he knows he's beaten at that point, and boy, did he hit hard. Pieces and parts are flying. Well, there is our monster cam. And again, so you don't worry, there is nobody underneath that camera. That would be a scary sight. But boy, what a great view it is. And you can see the breakage and really it looked like the wheels wanted to come off. I mean, he hit nasty. Wow. Well, Chuck Jordan's got a lot of work to do in the pits. All right, here's Barefoot, new driver this week. Mike Dropik's out of Alaska. It's his first shot in the Barefoot truck. We'll see what he's got as he gets ready to go into action right now. He's got big shoes to fill, as we saw from Todd Frolic last week. Obsession is the opponent. Byron Halverson at the wheel, waving to us, signaling he is ready to go. Byron's got his hands full, though, with Barefoot, who we saw in the Astrodome in Houston was just phenomenal. Let's see what Mike Dropik can do with all that power. The Keith Black Hemi getting the horsepower to the ground in the Barefoot Dodge against the Canadian. And Obsession actually got the whole shot, but here comes Barefoot. It's pretty close. I'm surprised. Wow. I'll tell you what, Obsession hung with him, and Barefoot never seemed to get that burst we're used to seeing from him. All right, Dropik had to be a little disappointed with that effort. Mike, for years, drove the Priority 1 truck out of Alaska. He's never really had this kind of power before, and I'll tell you, it's going to take him a while to get used to it. Well, we'll see here. You got to be impressed with Obsession, you know, knowing he's such a big underdog in that run, and a great job he did. Well, let's take a look at the results from round one. You do see Barefoot and Monster Patrol. That's going to be a great second-round matchup. Sampson, after that win over Jurassic Park, will advance against the fastest loser from the first round. Captain America and Gravedigger also winners. Well, I think we're in for a great showdown coming up in round two. Now it's time for a USHRA update. Let's take you to Houston, Texas. Predator and Carolina Crusher having quite a showdown. Predator smoking, but a pretty good run. Actually, in this opening round one, Alan Pizzo didn't let the smoke bother him. He keeps running, he gets to the finals. But, you know, anytime you line up against Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher in the finals, you've got to be at 100%. Predator wasn't, and Crusher got the win in Houston. Well, they have a little thing after these events called freestyling, and he's not about to be outdone. Predator looking pretty strong in that freestyle action. No question about it. All right, now, what do you say we have a little jargon jam? You may wonder what the word flop means. It means a lot in this sport.
Oh, flop's not good.
As far as I know, what a flop is if you flop it on its lid.
The fans like to see them upside down.
A safe flop would be, to me, is when I know I'm turning it over.
There's two kinds of drivers out here, the ones that have crashed and the ones that are going to.
Well, I know what a flop is. I've never had one.
Flop's not good.
Never hoped to have one.
Our job is to get as close to tipping over as we can, but you know, try to keep the shiny side up when it's all done.
You could get tangled up with the other guy, and if you're not going to hurt someone, you'll hurt their parts, and it's rough enough paying for your own parts, let alone fixing someone else's truck too.
Oh.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
Oh.
That means it's really going to hurt.
Oh. Flop's not good.
Well, let's hope we don't see too many flops here tonight. Huh?
Fans love to see them, and you know these monster trucks are built so safely in U.S. hot rod competition. That's why they're exciting. Rarely does anybody get hurt, and that's something everybody's proud of.
Well, most of these events we go to, we have the pro stadium trucks. We've had some qualifying rounds, and a lot of guys from around the area have come out to see what they could do with the pro stadiums. Well, let's take a look now at the pro stadium trucks. Wicked sick. Scott Berkey has a great qualifying time. Not so sure it's a great-looking truck, but it gets around here.
Going to be a guy to watch tonight. Scott had a really quick time on a very tough course here, and you get a look at John Alexander coming over the jumps. You know, Pace Motorsports brings these guys and gals who want to run, too, all over the country, and you see some unique designs, but remember, they got to drive them in off the street.
That's not exactly late model right there. Yeah, it is. As we run through the qualifying, and you can see some of these times, we're setting up for our actual pro stadium races, which is what they call a Chicago-style event. Scott, explain to us what that's going to be about.
It's based off of the old monster truck course, and we'll see it as the year goes on in different places. Chicago-style or roundy-round racing. Well, what they've created here with the monster trucks going straight line in Seattle, they have made a circular course, a round track, if you will, and the trucks almost chase each other around it here in Seattle. It's a neat course.
This is something that I think is really fun because almost anybody can get in and participate in.
And as we were talking about, throughout the country, Pace Motorsports allows these great pro stadium events to go on, and they actually have a regional point system. Later in St. Louis, we'll crown a champion.
There you see Jeff Williams and kind of interesting looking machine there. And Don Chester, his qualifying time was really pretty good, and Ballistic might be running Ballistic as we get through these races and get through this qualifying round. It's going to be really something.
We'll keep an eye on that one. That looks like a vehicle really built for this kind of competition. As you can see, some of these jumps are pretty rough. We talk about being a truck that is technically street legal, but I'll tell you, you better have some shocks, and you better definitely be designed to take a beating.
Wow, that truck's going to take a beating right there. There's no doubt about it. It's already had a beating, I believe, but it looks ready to race here in Seattle.
It's so much fun, and you know, these guys are just pure racers. They want to get out here. They want to get in front of this big crowd, put on a show, and most of all, they want to win. They're going to go for it tonight, and I think we're going to see some great times and some great competition when we get into the actual pairings in the first round of competition.
And again, many of these drivers are from right here in the Washington area, so they got friends and family sitting here in the Kingdom cheering them on tonight as they get ready to race.
No one wants to lose with mom, dad, and the kids and the wife sitting up in the stands, and they're really going to be putting the hammer down, just like Mark Pemberton right there deciding at the jump, hey, you got to go for it. Don't roll it. Hit the hammer.
And Mark Pemberton's qualifying speed not quite what he wanted, so let's hope maybe he can race a little bit better. But boy, that's a big truck to be going over all those jumps.
Look at Tom McDaniel. Is he not built for action? Oh, there goes the finish pole. Let's see if he can keep it straight when it comes to race time.
Yeah, sometimes the handling, I don't think, is exactly what they want on some of these. And although that looks like it's a pretty nice truck. I like to drive that one down the street.
One of the great things about the Pro Stadium trucks, anybody who owns a truck or a four-wheel drive sitting in the stands, you know they're looking down there just saying, hey, I can do that. Well, when a Pace Motorsport event comes to town, check into it. A lot of times they are looking for more competitors as long as your truck meets some specifications.
And you better put some sturdy shocks on there. That's
yeah, don't be built for speed, built to be taking a licking.
Right. As you can see, they've moved the dirt into here, Seattle, and they'll be ready to get these Pro Stadium trucks going on a great night of racing, and we will do that. Pro Stadium truck racing is on the way here on Motor Madness Monster Jam. Mike Hogwood, Scott Douglas, Dan Moriarty here in the Kingdom in Seattle, and we are ready for Pro Stadium trucks Let's get going. Explain to us again the format, what we're going to do here.
Time to match them up. It's a bracket-style competition. They'll now line up and race. Each winner will advance into the next round.
Well, in this first one, we got Tom McDaniel going up against Scott Berkey. There's Berkey in Wicked Sick in that 73 Chevy.
Great shot right here at how the course actually works. They're going to chase each other around this big oval. The bottom line is who completes their lap first is the winner.
McDaniel in that 98 Hummer soft top. Boy, that looks good.
Wow, he got a lot of air there, but looking wicked sick coming on. This is going to be the final half of the course. What nosedive by McDaniel. That may have cost him some time.
Yeah, the Hummer not handling like he wanted it to. That 73 Chevy looks pretty mean. It is wicked sick. Good job by Scott Berkey.
No question about it. He'll advance into the second round, and the time actually was just a little bit slower in his qualifying time, but I think that's going to happen a lot as these guys, this course is not an easy one to run, and the jumps are severe for the Pro Stadium trucks. They really have to come off the jumps and be okay.
Here is Brock Ross going up against Brent Gogabuer. Gogabuer in a 1950 Willys.
Boy, Ross is really keeping a lot of momentum. Goes over the whoop section, and now look at the air. Up and over, and really keeps the momentum. Look out, he may lap him. He is flat getting it on.
That is a Ford Ranger, 83, red, white, and blue, and he is coming hard here on it. Wow.
Oh, he had it one, and he broke. What went away? The truck just died. And sometimes, what is this, the tortoise and the hare deal? Because I'm going to tell you, Brent's going to win it by staying together.
Gogabuer not going very fast, but he doesn't have to. Tough break for Brock Ross. He's got a little smile on his face. That's good to see. He knew he had this thing won.
Yeah, gosh, he's got to be disappointed. I think he could have been one of the top contenders tonight. Rod Jansen now.
Rod Jansen and Mike Noose doing battle. I like this format. It really puts a lot of excitement here. You kind of feel it here in the Kingdom. People getting fired up for this.
And unless, like that last race, you have one guy who's really reeling in his opponent, until you get to that finish line, looks like everybody's got a shot, and that keeps these guys going full tilt.
And again, you see some of the different makes of trucks here. Really no rules. Anything almost allowed.
Noose took that one pretty easily, so we're going to keep an eye on Noose throughout the night. Good run right there.
We will indeed as Noose advances on here in the Pro Stadium Trucks. We got more action coming your way on Monster Jam. You stay where you are here on TNN.
Can you believe it? $1.
And we're ready for more Pro Stadium Truck Racing. What a great crowd again here at Seattle for this Pace Motorsports production. And this is some fun racing. I'm enjoying watching these guys.
Let's keep an eye on David Peplow out of Truckee, California. Look at the way he's got the wheels. Now, that's intentional. He's got them offset to try and get around these corners, and we'll see how he handles it against David Costner from Woodinville, Washington, in a 78 International Scout.
Oh, I like that Scout. I don't know if it can get around here very fast, but it looks good. And again, the Ford Ranger of Peplow. Peplow would be the favorite, I would think, in this run.
You know, we talk about a lot of these folks being local and regional. Peplow, though, has some experience. He'll go anywhere he can find a Pro Stadium race, and you can see how he's getting around this course, really picking it up and laying it down.
He knows how to drive and get over those jumps. Well, the Scout's not near as fast, but the Scout is hanging in there.
Yeah, sometimes just hanging in there, as we saw in the first couple of races, is all that matters. But Costner, I think, is just done.
Peplow's off the course. Something happened there.
I'll tell you, Peplow got the win. Costner just has to pull her on back. But Don Chester now will come out against Chris Pace. Don Chester is out of Vancouver, Washington, with the 68 Jeep Wagoneer against Pace and that Ford Ranger.
Pace is out of Bellingham, Washington, just nearby here in Seattle. Pace is a plumber. How you like that, man? Huh?
Well, you know, we told you, these aren't pro racers. These are just weekend warriors. I'll tell you, everybody enjoying themselves here today. Pace, you know, getting under there plumbing all the time. I guess he needs a little excitement on the weekend. Well, that's how you get it, with a big bang at the end of the run.
And Don Chester, though, comes away with the win there.
Chester getting the victory, so we'll see that Wagoneer back in the next round of competition. And actually, we're going to end up with a lone run, and one of the trucks broke in qualifying, so Gary Woodruff gets to do this on his own as he's going to bring that 62 Willys Jeep around here.
And that's got to be a lot of fun. No pressure, just come around on your own, and that Willys Jeep is making some time.
You know, the Pro Stadium trucks don't get a chance to practice before the start of the event. This is a great advantage right here for Woodruff. He only had the qualifying run earlier. Now he gets to get a real practice kind of hot lap set up for the next round of competition.
Well, the hot lap looked good, and he waves to the crowd here. A lot of fans here for Gary Woodruff, who had that lone run and will advance on to the next round.
Troy Jansen will be coming out next. Want to keep an eye on Troy, another of the Washington guys in a 1985 Ford Ranger. And the opposition for Jansen is John Alexander. You can see Alexander. Now, that's a classic style right there.
I love it. You know, and you can tell he's been racing Pro Stadium trucks for a long time, you know, back since the 50s, maybe.
Well, actually, because that is a 57 model of the Willys pickup right there. And it's a beauty. I'll tell you, he had a little trouble in the turn. I'm not sure how great a racer it is. Boy, what a close finish.
Really was. A lot closer than I expected on this
I didn't think the race was that close as they were in the turns, but I'll tell you, it came down to the wire. Nonetheless, Troy Jansen gets the win in that 85 Ford Ranger.
And our final run in this round, Mark Pemberton and Dana Swanson. Swanson in the 85 Toyota 4Runner and Pemberton in the Toyota, the 88 Toyota.
It's the battle for Toyota supremacy here in Seattle. I'll tell you as they come on around. Good run right now, though, for Pemberton as he's making his move. Wow, a lot of air.
You can tell he was well prepared, and that truck is running well.
I'm surprised he's able to keep going after taking that much air because the hit was so solid and coming down hard.
Well, Mark Pemberton certainly knowing what he's doing on this course in the Pro Stadium trucks, and Mark Pemberton advances on to the next round in Pro Stadium trucks. Here are results from round one. You see Woodruff and Chester, Peplow and Noose all advancing on.
In the other half of the bracket, there's Goldberg.
I was going to make you say Brent's name. Gogabior.
Scott Perky, Mark Pemberton, and Troy Jansen rounded out. I'm going to go back and work on Mark's name.
All right, we'll be back. More Monster Jam.
Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Kestrel Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. New improved Desinex powder, it gets rid of the fungus and absorbs twice as much moisture as Tenactin. Desinex soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
TNN salutes a century of motorsports and the Andrettis, a racing family. The name Andretti has become synonymous with racing and winning. What Mario began in 1959, his sons Michael and Jeff continue today. Mario Andretti began racing in 1959, driving a Hudson Hornet. His career flourished, and by 1964, he earned the title of Rookie of the Year at the Indianapolis 500, finishing third. Mario received titles that range from National Dirt Track Champion to Formula One World Champion. Today, both Michael and Jeff continued this tradition, and like their father, both earned Rookie of the Year honors at the Indianapolis 500. In 1990, the Andrettis made history by racing together, marking the first time a father and two sons competed in a champ car race. For more on the century of motorsports, log on to country.com, your personal source for all things country.
Brought to you by Exide.
16th through the 18th at the fairgrounds. We're in Santa Rosa, April 23rd through the 25th at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds. Up to Roseburg, Oregon, April 30th through May 2nd at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. And check out the action in Salinas, California at the fairgrounds, May 15th and 16th. Then we're heading back east, Monster Jam in Syracuse, the New York State Fairgrounds, June 5th and 6th. Catch all the action with Pace Motorsports.
We're having a great experience here in Seattle. Like you to meet one of our monster truck drivers, the driver of Survivor, Chuck Jordan.
Dennis Anderson got me started in the sport. Well, he came out and stayed at my house, kind of mooched for about a month back in 1988 and taught me into building my street truck into a monster truck. My daughter named the truck because we try to survive the races we go to, and with the way the guys are running nowadays, it's not very easy. All the trucks are real equal nowadays. Anybody can win at any time. It used to be Bigfoot 1 or Gravedigger 1. Anyone can win at any particular time. In our sport, we're different because our fans are mainly children. I mean, there's a lot of adults, so you can all see that, but the children I have a fan club, and I don't think there's anyone over 16 years old in it. And I guess that's why I'm here, is for the kids. They get so enthused, they really get into it, and just get eye-to-eye contact and a smile out of one little kid makes it all worthwhile. Oh, I like to travel, and I like to meet the different people, you know, and we've got to meet a lot of real good people. One of my favorites, of course, is Martina McBride. She helped sponsor our truck, so that all worked out really well. Yeah, that's my other sponsor, is my wife. I couldn't do this without her. She has a job of her own, so she can't go with me all the time, and she's just great.
Chuck Jordan, one of the interesting and great people in this business. Now our crowd getting revved up. We've got more Monster Jam coming up now. Barefoot and Monster Patrol.
What a great matchup this is going to be. Monster Patrol, like Barefoot, with a brand new driver today. Rod Schmidt behind the wheel of the big Chevrolet out of Indiana. As we've talked about, Mike Dropick is the newest member of the Barefoot team. So you've got two of the most established winning trucks with brand new drivers. It's going to make for a great race and an interesting race.
Mike Dropick out of Illinois in that 97 Dodge Ram, Barefoot. Oh, there's a lot of power. And again, this is all about horsepower here as they head down in a straight line, and getting started is important.
Neither of these trucks have a lack of power. What a race!
It was very, very close.
Monster Patrol by inches, and I think as we look at the replay, Mike, he won it on the start. Watch the hole shot that Rod Schmidt gets in Monster Patrol, and that's going to be the margin of difference at the end. Barefoot was coming, as we've talked about. I think Mike Dropick's getting used to this horsepower, but look at the hole shot.
You're absolutely right. It was the start that did it, and that finish is close.
Barefoot was coming on the end. Yeah. I'll tell you give him another 20 feet, Barefoot would have won the race, but Monster Patrol advances into the semifinals. Now we'll see if Maniac or Sampson can make it. You talk about power. We mentioned the Keith Black Hemi that is underneath the hood of the Barefoot machine, also underneath the hood of the Sampson machine. And Dan Patrick out of Ohio ready to go. Maniac is a truck out of Canada, Don Frankish, who really can give the big boys a run. Let's see what he's got for Sampson here.
Maniac the underdog in this, but certainly he thinks he can do it on this course.
Look at the air that Sampson gets. He absolutely launches off that jump, and I thought Maniac gave it a good test, gave it a great run. Sampson just too many horses.
Sampson does have a lot of horsepower that you can see. Sampson at the top of your screen, and airborne is what really, I mean, he really got some air. Well, we got more monster trucks coming your way on Monster Jam. Hold on to your seat. It's getting exciting here in Seattle. Time now for our U.S. off-road update from St. Louis. The Thunderbikes. Look at Todd Downs here. Boy, he had a strong night. Downs on to win in the Thunderbike category. Stadium lights. These are fun to watch.
You know, all the different off-road classes that run on the Pace Motorsports off-road events just create so much excitement because of the different classes you see, all the great action, the great jumps, and even here, I'll tell you, the Pro Quads put on an incredible show. Tim Farr, your winner in St. Louis.
Yeah, Tim Farr had a good night in St. Louis. Those Pro Quads, you're right, takes a special character to drive one of those machines, and there is Tim Farr. He is one of the best.
Nothing like going to victory lane in Pace Motorsports competition.
And we're back with more monster truck action here in Seattle. I think it might be time to take a look at Digger again, huh?
You know, over the years of the United States Hot Rod Association sanctioned monster truck racing, of course, Gravedigger has made his name as one of the biggest in the sport. Everybody loves the design of the truck, but I'll tell you, when Dennis Anderson's behind the wheel and he's going full throttle like he is tonight, there is nobody that can jack a crowd more than Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger.
But let's remember that the crowd here might also be for Captain America, who is from Washington, Jeff Banner. And we'll see what Captain America can do.
I was impressed the first run for Captain America. Now he takes on the legend. Good start for Captain America. Digger had to give it everything he had to win that race. He actually catches Captain America in the air.
Let's watch it again, and you will see Dennis Anderson. This is why he is the best.
Absolutely no let up, and you can see how hard he hits. He just keeps coming. Doesn't matter what's in his way. The Gravedigger is heading for the finish line, and another win for Dennis Anderson, but it was very close, and Captain America may be back in the next round as the fastest loser from this round. He had a great run. Now watch the replay here. Anderson actually has to get him in the air. He did the job, though.
Well, Captain America making a lot of noise here. And as we see the results from round 2, Monster Patrol, Samson are there, also Gravedigger.
And the fastest loser from that round will come back as well.
Scott, out of this group, I would have to say that Gravedigger is the favorite as we move on.
No question about it, but don't forget about the power of Samson and Monster Patrol, and the hometown boy may be back.
Yeah, I don't think Gravedigger wants to run against him again. Hey, in our How It Works feature, we're going to take a look at what happens with the wheelie.
I can hit the cars, go up and iron wall the cars. Iron walling cars is no dirt ramp. And you just go up and you just kind of come trotting up to the cars pretty fast, and you just mash it as hard as you can. You can stand it straight up.
We'll have a little dirt hill. We'll pop the truck up usually in about second gear. When it comes down on the hop, we get in the throttle, grab another hole, and hopefully make it all the way across the stadium without hitting something.
There's some trucks that can get in a bite that from a dead stop on level ground can pull some really awesome wheel stands.
Put your foot hard on the brake, stab it to the floor with the throttle, and let your foot off the brake. Hopefully it comes up, and if it does, just kind of feather it. Keep the front end up in the air.
They want to see wild and crazy flipping, crashing, and burning.
Just keep your foot planted right on the floor.
Takes a lot of courage to do those wheelies here.
That's how you do it. According to the experts, nobody knows better than that group we just heard from.
Well, it's time now for some more Pro Stadium truck action.
Second round, the winners will go into the semifinals right here as we get Troy Jansen in the Ford Ranger out of Washington against the Oregon-based Toyota Mark Pemberton.
We were talking earlier in the break about how long this course is for these trucks. They normally don't run this long, so this is quite a challenge.
Not only is it long, it's so tough. These jumps are really huge, and I am very impressed with the talent in the northwest part of the country able to handle a course like this. Here they come to the finish, and indeed it's going to be Jansen getting the victory.
Troy Jansen, you're right.
Ford into the semis.
Wow. Move Troy Jansen into the semifinals of the Pro Stadium Trucks. Great run for him.
Yeah, Pemberton gave it a good run, though, as he comes out of the Toyota, but you can give the win right there to Jansen. Now Wicked Six back.
Oh, I like the look of this truck. Wicked Six, Scott Berkey. He's actually, it looks like he's going to go by himself here. So we're going to have another lone run.
Your buddy Brent from the first round was unable to make it back, and so Wicked Sick is going to get, again, what really amounts to a good hot lap to get some more practice and set up on this course in for when he comes back in the semifinal round.
It looks like he's going to take his time here, too.
Oh, it looks like he's broke.
Oh, my. There. Look at the water pouring out of the truck there.
Let's see if we can see what happened when we get another look. As Wicked Sick comes over the whoop section right here, Berkey brings it up. He never really got a lot of speed. He's just trying to feel the course, I guess, since he ended up with what was in essence a bye run, and something went away, and you saw the fluid pouring out of it.
Well, let's move on now.
David Peplow's back. You can tell by that offset wheel setup he's got ready to go against Mike Noose. Well, these guys are flying. What a great race we've got going here.
And again, if you're joining us late, they race around in opposite directions. First one to the finish line wins.
Peplow's got that Ranger cooking, but I'll tell you, Newsom at 51 Willys has given him everything he wants in this round. Here they come to the finals in a great race.
Peplow looks like he does.
Wow.
Dave Peplow. It was close.
I'll tell you, it was right down the wire. Both drivers put their hands in the air thinking they had won. As you said, it came right down to the edge.
Gary Woodruff had a lone run the first time out. He's going to go up against Don Chester now.
Woodruff's going to show us a little power in underneath the hood of that 1962 Willys Jeep.
Saw a little buddy along there with him, alongside.
You always got to have a little help behind the wheel, especially in pro stadium truck competition. Chester and Woodruff, and again, the winner will make it to the semifinals.
Good, strong run for Woodruff.
Well, Chester calls his vehicle Major Rush. I think he's getting a major rush out of it right now.
And it is going to be Gary Woodruff who comes onto the win, waves to the crowd. Got a little buddy along with him in the front seat there, and it is going to be Woodruff moving to the semifinals.
I'll tell you, it's a tough course, it's a long course, and the winner tonight is a true survivor here in Seattle. And the fans are just getting a great, great pro stadium truck show.
And we've got more on the way next.
Is there anything else?
Pace Motorsports action means the best in high-flying supercross heading toward the championship that's coming up in Las Vegas on May 1st. But before we get there, you got to catch the action at the Superdome in New Orleans. And they'll be flying high at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis on April the 24th before heading to Vegas for the championship. It's PaceMotorsports.com for the best in supercross action. You know, there's always something neat and exciting when you go to the Pace Motorsports events, and one of the things in Seattle that the folks really have been looking forward to was rollover action, an actual rollover contest.
That was something.
It takes a different breed of cat to do that. They had a bunch of them in Seattle. I'll tell you, this crowd jacked for stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, it really does get the crowd enthused and excited here. Ready for now semifinal action in the Pro Stadium Trucks. We've had a good competition here. Now Dave Peplow and Troy Jansen.
This ought to be a great race. And again, the winner goes to the finals. Peplow we've seen throughout the night in the Ford Ranger, the wheels cocked out of Truckee, California, and he's really been getting around real well. But Jansen's been good all night. Another Ford Ranger, 85 model.
Peplow, though, seems to really look like he has command here. You know, he's constructed that truck to run these pro stadiums. He knows what he's doing, and it's showing here.
Oh, and then you can watch him in the turns, the way he slides through the turns and doesn't lose any momentum, really getting it done. Jansen's had a good night, but not quite enough to take Peplow out, it doesn't look like, as they come to the final. Peplow's going to win it by several truck lengths.
Well, Dave Peplow from California moves on now into the finals. And I wouldn't say that that was unexpected.
No, he's been strong all night, solid all night, but he's going to have to win one more race to come out of Seattle as the champion. And here's your buddy Woodruff back with the crash test dummy.
Well, and Gary Woodruff is going to run by himself because Wicked Sick got really wicked sick.
Yeah, as you saw at the end of the last run, there was fluid pouring everywhere. They could not get it fixed. And so Woodruff, for the second time tonight, gets the advantage of what, in essence, is a bye run.
But we have seen someone break in one of these bye runs, so it's not a gimme. It's not an automatic. He does have to make the course.
I think Woodruff's doing the right thing here, trying to set up for the final, really seeing where he can pick up some speed. He knows Peplow is double tough. He's given it everything he's got in the semifinal run to figure out how he can beat Peplow when we get to the final in just a few moments.
Well, Gary Woodruff with a nice run. Looks like he has command of this track here.
Oh, I think we got a great final.
He's got some advice from the guy in the front seat, you know, and he's ready to go. We'll have those finals coming up here on Motor Madness Monster Jam. Stay with us. Mike Hogwood, Scott Douglas back in Seattle with the Monster Jam, and we are ready for Pro Stadium Trucks and the final runs. Peplow has to be the favorite going against Mr. Woodruff and his friends, but who can tell?
And no doubt these have been the two best trucks all night in terms of consistency of performance and speed on the racetrack. This ought to be a great final, and who knows, maybe the dummy there can give Woodruff a little push. He's really going to have a perfect run to beat Peplow, who has been solid and fast all night.
We're talking about David Peplow out of California, who runs a lot of these pro arena races. There's Gary Woodruff, as you see with the track officials in that 62 Willys Jeep. I like the way that thing looks. And here we go.
Great start right there, as I'll tell you. Peplow actually looked like he was almost napping just a little bit on the start there, or maybe he just didn't get off the gate as well as he wanted to. Nonetheless, he gave up some ground at the start. And he's behind right now. Woodruff is winning this race at the halfway point.
Gary Woodruff out of Vancouver, Washington.
But Peplow trying to make up ground. He's off the course, onto the concrete. You did not want to do that. He knew he was behind and couldn't make it up, and that's why he slid off the course on the concrete in an upset. Gary Woodruff wins it.
And Dan Moriarty is with him.
Pro Stadium winner, brother. Tell me about it.
Sometimes it can get kind of rough out there, but it sure is exhilarating.
What do you mean sometimes? Every time I see you guys go, it looks kind of rough out there.
Okay, especially in a short wheelbase Jeep. It's always rough, but you put on the right safety gear and you survive, barely.
So tell me, does the danger and the safety gear together give you some kind of incredible adrenaline rush every time you do it?
Oh, definitely. I feel a lot safer than if I was on a motorcycle doing the same thing, so I guess guess I'm a little on the safe side there, but it still get that adrenaline pumping fast.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, thank you, Dan. Man, that was something.
Popular win as well as the Vancouver, Washington-based Warrior knocks off the Invader from California.
Well, let's go back down to our man Dan and find out what we got coming up next week here on Monster Jam.
Well, from the floor, that's all there is tonight. But before I say goodbye, let me tell you, we have got a monster truck final next week that's going to blow you away. Along with Quad Wars, Demolition Derby, and a stunt you will not believe. Mike and Scott, take it away. Good night from down here. You know, it's really fun working with you guys.
Yeah, fun working with you too, Dan, and you got a great job down there where the action is, and it is a lot of fun. As we do every week, we like to give you a little piece we call the Jam.
Monster trucks rule!
I'll say it was awesome. Hey, I hope you'll be with us again next week. Scott and I'll be right here, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Gonna be awesome when you put Gravedigger, Monster Patrol, Captain America, and Samson into the semifinals. That's next week.
Can't wait. We have a huge crowd here in Seattle. They love their monster truck action.
Home of the Grand Ole Opry and TNN. That's right, my